A lot of people who do endmyopia report that they have floaters. So does endmyopia cause floaters? Hi, I'm Jem, an EndMyopia student following Jake Steiner's EndMyopia method to get back to 20/20 vision and life without glasses. It's all based on science, not magic, and if you want more information, I'll pop some links in the description down below. For people doing the EndMyopia method, a lot of people report that they have floaters. So does endmyopia cause floaters? That is the big question. For some people, this is more of a question than for other people. For me, I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't think so, at least not directly. Let me explain that a little bit. The main thing we're doing when we're following the EndMyopia method, besides not putting on full strength glasses, is active focusing. And that's not something that's going to damage your eyes in any way. That is actually remembering how to use your eyes, remembering to use your eyes as they're meant to be used, instead of looking with lazy vision. It's remembering to focus on things. And if you can't focus on things, then find something that's a little bit blurry and just give your eyes time to clear it up. This is not dangerous. So how do we account for the people who insist that floaters came as a result of them beginning endmyopia? I have two theories. My first theory is simply awareness. Before starting endmyopia, we probably weren't hyper aware of the details of what we were seeing, of our visual acuity. We might have known, it's blurry, it's hard to see, oh, glasses make it better, but beyond that, how much attention did we really pay? Chances are we were leaving it up to the experts to tell us what to do with our vision, and it was their job to fix it, not ours. Starting endmyopia, we really tune into our vision, to what our eyes can see, to the nuances, to the details, to like the really minute specifics of, is this blurry? Is this clear? Is this just a tiny bit blurry? For me, the very first time I noticed my floaters was not even after starting endmyopia, but after reading about endmyopia. I was reading about the ideas behind it and how it was meant to work, how you're meant to lower your correction, not use full correction, introduce a tiny bit of blur, and how you're meant to active focus. After reading this off my computer screen, I looked up and looked out the window straight away. And I looked into the garden and I just tried to pay attention to what I could see without my glasses. What was clear? What was blurry? What did the blur look like? Was it fuzzy? Was it ghosting? What was I seeing? Could I clear it up if I stared at it for a minute? And that's when I realized I had a great big whacking floater in the middle of my left eye. So I had not noticed my floaters before I started endmyopia, but having read about it and then like 30 seconds later having a floater before I even knew how to active focus, I'm not gonna say that is endmyopia's fault. The only real difference between before I read about it and after, in that moment, was my awareness, was my consciousness being placed upon my vision and upon those details. So for me, my awareness of floaters definitely came with endmyopia. Before that, I had never in my whole life noticed floaters. And now I definitely have them. That one I noticed in my left eye that day, still there over a year later. But other people in the endmyopia community insist that they did not have floaters and now they do, and it definitely isn't about awareness. Considering how big and annoying my floater is that I never noticed until that very moment, I think we need to be willing to admit that perhaps our perception of events and how events really are don't always line up. But on the other hand, I also need to listen to the experience of others and take them seriously. So, assuming that you didn't have floaters before starting endmyopia and now you do, and you definitely feel like it is a causal link, my theory for that is still that endmyopia is not causing floaters. When we start doing the endmyopia process, the first part is trying to unlock your ciliary spasm. For most of us myopes, especially those of us who haven't found endmyopia yet and are still wearing our glasses for close-up, our eyes are locked in ciliary spasm for most of us. Learning to pay attention to our vision, to our habits, and to relax and let our vision adjust as we try and focus on objects that are slightly blurry, objects in the distance, that ciliary muscle starts to relax, starts to let go. And it might not let go completely all at once. To begin with, it might just relax a little bit. Now, if this muscle hasn't really been moving, it's meant to move freely. If we've had it locked up over an extended period of time because of our bad habits or our close-up and wearing glasses for our close-up work, then my theory is that maybe some of the debris and detritus just in the eyeball is settling like dust upon that muscle. And when we start using it again, it comes off and starts floating around in the eye. And so suddenly we started EndMyopia and now we have floaters. What are these? What is EndMyopia doing to us? Is it damaging our eye? Should we stop it immediately? This theory makes a huge amount of sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you, because really just using our eyes as they're meant to be used is not going to cause any kind of retinal detachment-y, floatery issues. Wearing glasses for close-up and worsening our myopia is far more likely to cause floaters than anything we're doing in EndMyopia. So maybe the fact that you have floaters is actually because you have myopia and not because you're doing the EndMyopia program, free or paid. If you're considering not doing the EndMyopia method or stopping the EndMyopia method because you found some floaters, and so instead you're going to keep wearing full correction, wearing your glasses for close-up to avoid floaters, that is a bad idea. Because long-term, that is far more dangerous for floaters and for retinal detachment and for other complications, as well as just increasingly bad vision. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think EndMyopia causes floaters, although it may do some stirring up of floaters that are already there. But if you notice a sudden increase in your floaters, or if you get any sort of flashes of light, please go and see your ophthalmologist, because that can be a bad sign. And I am in no way a medical professional. But mostly floaters are harmless, so just be sensible, and if you're concerned, go get them checked out. Something I wish I had done before starting EndMyopia was go to my optometrist or an ophthalmologist and ask them to have a look and tell me my floater situation, because they can look into your eye and see the debris that's in there, see what floaters there are. I wish I had gone and got that checked out before I started EndMyopia and then got it checked out after and found out whether there was actually objectively a difference or if it was all in my head. Well, I think it was all in my head, but it'd be nice to know for sure. But the problem was, as soon as I discovered EndMyopia, I noticed the floaters. So there was no moment when I could have thought, I'll go get this checked out first before I start anything, because it wasn't caused by doing anything, it was caused by noticing. So maybe it's the same for you, maybe it's different. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear other people's experiences, because my experience is not the only experience. So I'm sharing it with you. Maybe it'll help someone. Please share your experiences below as well. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure they'll benefit other people. Thanks so much for being here. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the little bell button to be notified every time I post, which is on Thursdays. I will see you next week. Floaters. Floaters and EndMyopia. EndMyopia and floaters. That is the eye that squeezes the lens in order to look up close and relaxes in order to look into the distance. Especially ones who haven't found EndMyopia yet and are still wearing our glosses for class up. They can like drain your eye fluid and replace it with something else, which sounds terrifying to me. No thank you. But now I'm just talking about floaters. And this video is meant to be about floaters in relation to the EndMyopia program. Thanks so much for being here. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for being here. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.